Evil Dead, Rise from the Ashes, written by Arkansas Ash.
Chapter 8. I found myself outside of the courtyard as I was breathing in the night air. What I'm doing, I can't do this. First off, I'm 66 years old and out of shape. I'm not as young as I was back then. I could get hurt badly or worse die. And being chosen to save the world, give me a break, I can't even get a good role in a A-ranking movie these days. Maybe I should forget the whole thing and let Marcus deal with this shit. I'm out. Then I heard something. I turned around to see what it was, and it was nothing. As I turned back, I heard it again, but this time sounded like a low chuckle echoing in the dank air. "Who's there?" I said out loud. Nothing. I must be hearing things. Then I heard it again not far from where I was. "This is not funny." "Ashy," said a strange voice lingering in the air. "This is not real." Come on, Ashy, you know it is," a voice purred, so sinister yet tantalizingly familiar. I felt my heart begin to race. The hairs on my arms stood up, and a chill crept down my spine. I wasn't alone. Something lurked within these shadows. "No, go away," I said, closing my eyes and coving my ears with my hands. "Ashy, go away!" Whatever it was, the voice called my name over and over, like a broken record. I couldn't take it anymore. I began to scream, telling whatever it was to leave, then silence. I opened my eyes and lowered my hands away from my ears, thinking it was over, but it wasn't. "Boo!" I stumbled back a bit, to come face to face who it was. It looked like a person covered in shadows until it began to take form. I was met with a mirror image of myself, a twisted version looking about 30 years younger, brimming with the confidence I once had. His eyes sparkled with malice, his smile reminiscent of the disturbing creatures I'd once betrayed. "You think you can save the world," he sneered. "You barely saved your own career." I stumbled back a bit. "Who are you?" I said to him. With a smile on his face, he answered my question. "Oh, you know who I am, you goody little two shoes." He stepped closer. An overpowering sense of dread washed over me. With each step he too sang over and over, "Little goody two shoes." I started to back away, but before I could pivot, he lunged at me with a blur of black energy. I barely dodged, stumbling over and landing hard against the cold stone floor on my back. I felt a pain going down my back as he got closer than without wearing. He grabbed my shirt and pulled me up. My mind racing now. Was I dreaming, or is this real? "No, this is not real," I whisper a little. "My dear Ash," he taunted, his voice oozing with mockery. "This isn't a dream. We both know you're a coward. How many times did you run from the spotlight? From real life?" "Shut up," I said, my voice to him in a bit of pain. "What?" He laughed once more. "What was that? Speak up." "Shut up," I yelled once more at him. He looked at me and let me go. I landed on the floor once more in pain. "Oh, Ashy, you're not what you used to be back then," he said, looming over me. "What are you saying?" I said, a bit confused. "You don't remember? Well, your mind is slipping like your old age." He laughed out loud. Still in pain, I tried pushing myself to my feet, but my twin pushed me down. "For years, I was with you, the ups, the downs, and all around. I whispered a lot of things in your ears and kept you at bay, but now I want out and help bring the world into darkness." "You're lying." "It's the truth, my dear Ashy. You know we will win, old man. Evil will rule mankind forever," he said, looming even closer to my face. "Now why not you go back inside and forget everything?" Maybe he is right, but still something inside of me is telling me not to give in and fight. I steadied my breathing, my heart racing against the backdrop of gloom. I'll prove you wrong. I'll take those relics and I'll save the world. My evil self laughed even more. You lack the conviction, the drive. You'll never claim those relics. You may think you're chosen one, but it's all just a joke. You were never the one to save the world, so give up. I closed my eyes and yelled at my twin, "No, I won't give up." As I opened my eyes again, he was gone in a blink of an eye. My heart still pounding in my chest. Was he right that I was not cut out to be the hero of humanity? I had to think for a moment, and then I knew what had to be done. Run away like a coward, or stand on my 2 feet and fight in the grand theater of life. Everyone deserves their moment to step onto the stage and unveil the courage they didn't know they possessed. Was I ready? Ready to be the hero I once only played on screen long ago? That was the million-dollar question. Maybe the world wasn't destined to burn after all. Perhaps, just perhaps, I was the unlikely match it needed to set the darkness ablaze. Chapter 9. It was morning when I packed a few things in my bag, like a flashlight and other stuff as well. Then there was a knock on the door. "Who is it?" I asked. "It's me, Lucy. Can I come in?" she said. "Sure." Lucy opened the door and walked in to see me pack. "Ash, what's going on?" "Oh, sorry, my phone died and I was looking for my charger, that's all." "I see. Well, I just wanted to see if you were all right. You stormed out of the library and..." "I'm fine, Lucy. I got a lot to process here, you know." "I see. I will leave you alone for now. But if you need to talk, me and Robert are here for you." "Thanks." Lucy left the room to let me think. My mind was racing. I didn't want to do this, but deep down I had to. It's something or someone was trying to tell me. But what? I had to go to the cave to get the relics. Maybe they can help me, whatever's going on. I quietly made my way out of the castle bag over my shoulder and hurried into the wooded area. It took me a while to find the cave. The last time I got lost a few times until I was standing at it. There was still some rocks from the last time blocking it. But I had no choice. I placed my bag down and began to remove some of the rocks. Some were easy to move, but others, well, not so others. I found a tree branch and began to loosen some of them, just enough to see what was inside. I took out my flashlight and shinned inside to see what entrusting was inside. Nothing at first. But still, I hoped those items were still there all these years. I placed the flashlight back into my bag and tried to remove more rock, to make it big enough for me to fit, though. A bit out breath and sweating. I made enough room, just enough to slip in. I tossed my bag in first, then squeezing my way through until I was inside. The cold air wrapping around me like a shroud. As I was taking the flashlight out of my bag once more, I turned it on. I took a deep breath and let it out as I began to walk down deeper into the cave. The damp air of the cave oozed with a musty odor that clung to my skin, just as the regrets of my life clung to my soul. All around me, jagged rocks loomed like ancient sentinels, their surfaces slick with moisture and secrets. It felt like hours went by as I walked, hoping I was at the end of my journey, but it wasn't. Then I felt something was off. "Just what are you doing, you loser?" A voice echoed in my mind. Silky and confident, I knew who it was. My evil twin, but where he was, I couldn't see him anywhere. My mind was playing tricks as I continued to walk. "Savor the world, my ass. Just give up and leave Ash. Let the world slide into darkness," said my evil twin, laughing. I shook my head, ignoring him, until I saw something. I moved deeper. A dim, flickering light, guiding me towards the same altar table where I and Robert found it the last time we were in here. Suddenly, the atmosphere shifted, and my breath hitched. As I stopped my feet, wouldn't move for some reason, as if I stepped into something like glue but much stronger. I pulled on my feet. It was no use. I was stuck to the floor for some unknown reason. Then I heard someone chuckling, as I turned my body just enough to see what it was. It was none other than my evil side, walking past me towards then, out of the blue. He slapped me hard on the back of my head, causing me to fall forward a bit, but not too hard to hit the ground. I rubbed the area where he hit me. As I see him make his way to the table, then he stopped and began to look around for something. When he found what he was looking for, he leaned down on the ground and picked it up. It was the chainsaw, the same one that Marcus dropped, and gave me the scar. He looked at it for a little bit, and then turned to me, chainsaw in hand. With a flick of a switch, it came alive all these years. My twin began to rev it a few times to see if it was still working. I could hear the engine of it gave a roaring sound that filled the area, as if it has been awakened all these years. Ash, he smiled at me. I see you finally mustered the courage to waddle in here. But let's be honest, you were never fit for this role. You're just a washed-up actor afraid of what you could become if you dared to choose the light. I tried to remain resolute, though I could feel despair seeping into the recesses of my mind. I am not afraid, I lied, my voice shaking ever so slightly. Such a liar to the bitter end, he said, as he stepping closer, the shadows dancing at his heels. You know what happens next, don't you? You will fail. You'll leave this cave holding nothing but your regrets like you always do. That's not true, I said to him. I'm at Ash, evil is one and you're nothing, he said, laughing at me. I stood there, feeling the blows of my twin's words. Was he right, or just a bunch of bullshit? Then I heard something else in my mind. It was faint at first, but I could tell it wasn't my twin's voice, but someone on else. It was telling me something. Don't listen to this screwhead, it said. I took a deep breath and started at him once more. Enough of this bullshit, I said, mustering the courage within me. Excuse me, said my twin, looking at me a bit confused. You heard me. Enough is enough. I don't care if the world burns. I will make sure you and your kind are sent back to hell where you come from and never return, I told him. Oh, really, is that your final answer? He chuckled. The next part was a blur, when suddenly he lunged at me. With the chainsaw with tremendous speed, it happened in mere seconds when I tried to shield myself. The next thing I knew, pain exploded through my body, blinding and ferocious as he severed my right hand in one awful swipe. I soothed the scream that egged to escape, a desperate breath filling my lungs as I tumbled to the ground. All too easy, he said, smiling back at me, with the chainsaw now covered with my blood. That jerk, he cut my hand. I pulled off my shirt and I tried to stop the bleeding, but it was coming out even more, making me feel dizzy. You son of... I said in pain, but was met with the blade close to my face. I warned you. And look what happened, he said with a glare in his eye. Now you must pay the price. Before he can strike again, the chainsaw began to shake in his hands, as if something or someone trying to rip away from his grasp. What the hell? He said, trying to hold on, but couldn't the chainsaw leap forward and backward as he held onto it with all his might? It began to pull him upwards and swinging around like a rag doll until he let go, causing him to fall to the ground as disappearing into smoke. Suddenly, a voice, deep and resonant, broke through the murky silence. What a jerk. The next thing that happened, the chainsaw glowed as it rose into the air and started to take shape what looked like a man. When the light faded, it revealed who it was. It wasn't my evil twin, but someone who looked just like me, but so familiar. He stood tall, wearing what looked like a mid-level outfit. On his right hand was a metal arm ablaze with potential, eyes gleaming with fierce determination. "Who are you?" I asked. He smiled at me as he spoke. "Well, I'm not your evil side, buddy." At first I didn't know who he was, but something deep down I knew who he was. The legendary hero that I read in the letters of my ancestral past. My distant ancestor who had once battled darkness with courage that put even my wildest film escapades to shame. Ash J. Williams. "Ash?" I gasped, uncertain whether the figure before me was a mirage, reality, or blood-lose ether one. "But you're me." He walked over and got on one knee and spoke. "Listen up. I'm going to say this once, so get that gum out of your ears. The reason I am here is to remind you that your story isn't finished. The world needs its heroes. I gave my life in the fight against evil long ago, and now it is your time to rise. Besides, you saved my life back then." "What?" I looked confused. "Oh, right, that never happened yet. But still, when the time comes, you know what do." I was a bit confused on what his said. Maybe it was the lose of blood or something else. "What a joke. You think this washed-up actor can be a hero?" "Just look at you. Pathetic," said my twins, echoing in the cave. "Why not show your real self, you screwhead?" said Ash J. William, turning towards the sound of the voice. Stepping out from the shadows, once more ready to go for another round, was my twin. But this time, he was different. His face looked like it was shot with a gun at point blank. His hair was a mess, and his clothes looked tattered and worn. The air chilled, and the scent of decayed ambitions filled the cavern as a laugh echoed in the dark. "Give up. There is no way he can save the world you didn't save your loved ones. Long ago when the darkness came and took them. That's all in the past. I learned from my mistake." "Oh, really, you can move on, but what about him?" said my evil twin, pointing at me. "He has second thought that being a hero is a waste of time." With each taunt he said made my spirit crumble further. Is he right, that I lost everything? No, he was wrong. "Why should I care?" I shouted, my voice raw. "Why shouldn't I let you win?" My evil twin grinned, a malevolent smile that chilled my bones. "Because a part of you still believes. But with each passing moment, that belief grows faint. Why fight for a world that doesn't remember you? You're nothing now." Caught between the menacing whispers of my darker self and the fervent call of my ancestor, I got up my legs, trembling, as I held my injured hand with my other hand. This was it, the boiling point for me. Nothing. Big mistake, buddy, that is. When felt a flicker of resolve sparked within. "You're wrong," I rasped, straining against my doubts. "I may be nothing now, but I am the sum of my ancestors, my loved ones, and everyone I cared for. I owe it to them, to myself, to fight one final time." Ash J. Williams smiled as he rose as well and placed his hand on my shoulder. Spoken like a true Campbell, or this case a Williams. I smiled back at him, more confidence than ever. I was tired, or running now was the time to fight. Then a light began to glow around me, and not far the other items of the table began to glow as well. Then they rose into the air and began to swirl around me. Then I noticed Ash glowing as well. "What's going on?" I asked him, feeling the warmth around me. "It's time, kid, to rise from the ashes," he said to me, smiling at me. "Give this baster hell not just for me, but everyone you love." I nodded as I began to embrace the light that surrounded me. Memories flooded my mind of the past long ago, not just mine, but Ash's as well, splitting moments with those we both loved, how we survived and sacrificed. We have all a hero beating within, Sometimes it takes the lie of age to reveal the truth of who we've always been. And who knows? Perhaps even an old man can give the world one last act worth celebrating. It was time to retake my life and save it from the darkness. I felt the necklace placed over my neck. As I felt its power course within me, stripping away my old self to reveal my younger self. The shotgun and the holster with the straps attached to it wrapped around my chest, securing it tightly ready for action. The robe wrapped around me and then draped over me like a cape, like one of those superheroes in comic books, or one of my films I played long ago. At the same time, my hand wasn't hurting, as if the robe was healing me from my injuries, making me whole again. And alas, the chainsaw slipped onto my stubble right hand like a glove. As its power began to humming to life in resonance with the beating of my heart, as a surge of power coursed through my vein, giving me strength. I have lost long ago, but now even stronger before. When the light faded, I stood there a new man, like as if I was a phoenix just reborn once more from the ashes. I looked too at my new self, as a smile creeped from my face. Then I looked at my evil twin, who was shocked to see what I have become. Impossible, he muttered under his breath. No more, I cried out, feeling the swell of confidence, the resolve of generations bolstering my soul. This ends here. My evil twin began to laugh as the darkness began to swirl around him, as if he to be getting ready to fight as well. I could see his right hand transforming as well into a chainsaw as it began to roar into life itself. He dawned on what looked like a skull, made out of remains of a human, and a tattered cape over his shoulders. His looks faded to reveal his true face, twisted and deformed, as he let out a growl deep within. "Prepare to die," he said, growling at me. I lifted my own chainsaw as it began to roar to life as well. "Bring it,"